Children are hereditary. If your parents were not able to have any children, then chances are you won't be able to have any children either. Your mama is so fat, when she wants to sit down, she has to get a permit from the Planning Commission. A camel is a horse that was designed by a committee. Whenever there's a big plane crash, the news reports always talk about how they identify the victims from their dental records. We should all eat more sugar, drink more colas, so that we can get cavities and fillings, and that way when our plane crashes, they'll know who we are. Nashville is kind of an old-fashioned town. It has a lot of elderly people. They have a night spot here. It's called the Slipped Disco. If you leave your drink unattended too long, somebody puts their teeth into it. I think I'm part of the old generation. I can remember a time when I used to look up information on my computer. Now my computer looks up information on me. People in New York City are good at sharing things. I saw two guys in New York City sharing a taxi cab. One was taking the hubcaps and the seat covers, and the other was taking the radio and the spare tire. New York City has some tough neighborhoods. People used to commit suicide by jumping out of hotel rooms. Now they commit suicide by jumping into hotel rooms. There's this guy from New York City, he came to Tennessee, decided he'd do some hunting. He had his gun with him. He points the gun up in the air, fires, and down falls a duck right there in the cornfield. And the fellow from New York City is getting ready to pick up his duck. Just then a farmer comes along. The farmer says, "What are you doing?" He says, "I just shot a duck. I'm going to take it back with me to New York City." The farmer says, "No, this is my land. This is my cornfield. The duck's on my property, so that duck belongs to me." The fellow from New York City says, "No, I shot the duck. That duck belongs to me." The farmer says, "Hey, you know, here in Tennessee, we have a way of deciding these disputes. Here's what we'll do. We'll do it in a manly way." He says, "Are you a tough man?" And the fellow from New York City says, "Oh yeah, I'm a tough man. I'm a tough man." He says, "Well, here's what we'll do. We'll kick each other, and we'll keep kicking each other until one of us gives up, and then the other guy gets the duck." And the fellow from New York City says, "Well, that sounds like a reasonable idea." And the farmer says, "And what we do is we kick each other in the groin. And since it's my idea, I'll go first." And so the farmer swings his foot back and kicks the fellow from New York City right in the groin. And the fellow from New York City, he falls down. "Oh, ow, oh, ow." He screams and hollers and cries for a minute or two. Then the fellow from New York City gets up and he says, "Boy, that hurt." He says, "But now it's my turn." The farmer says, "Never mind, keep the duck." I saw a news report that said that 65% of the members of Congress do not want their children to be involved in politics. I was astonished. I didn't know members of Congress were allowed to have children. There was a group of sailors at the Great Lakes Naval Hospital, and they had just been told that there would be no weekend passes for anyone. And they were in the barracks, they were talking, and this one sailor said, "I want to see my girlfriend tonight. I just got to see my girlfriend tonight. I'll do whatever it takes to get out of here. I'm going over the wall. I'm going to see my girlfriend tonight." And the other sailor said, "Oh, wait a minute. If they see you going over the wall, they'll think you're deserting and they'll shoot you. They'll shoot you and they'll kill you for being a deserter." And the sailor said, "Well, I've thought it over. I've got a mama in heaven, I've got a daddy in hell, and I've got a girlfriend in Crown Point, and I'm going to see one of them tonight." The guy calls the plumber. He says, "You got to get over here right away. I can't flush my toilet. The flushing mechanism doesn't work." The plumber rushes right over. The plumber lifts the lid off the tank. He looks at the mechanism for flushing. He sees the little jiggly spring is broken. He takes a new jiggly spring right out of his pocket. He attaches it. The flushing mechanism works perfectly. The guy says, "Wow, you fixed that toilet fast. That was fast. How much do I owe you?" The plumber says, "Well, let's see, it's $100 for the house call, and I get $100 an hour with a 4-hour guarantee. Comes to $500, and 15 cents for the jiggly spring. So that's $500 and 15 cents. Guy says, $500 for a few seconds of work? I don't make that much money and I'm a brain surgeon. The plumber says, well, you got to go back to school. I didn't make this much money when I was a brain surgeon either. Nashville's been making a lot of changes recently. We are trying to combine the big city feel, like New York City type feel, to get the tourists who don't particularly come here for the country music. We want to get those people, but we also want to keep the traditions of the country music fan. So one thing we've done, we brought in a Tiffany's jewelry store. And the Tiffany's jewelry store is just like the one in New York City with a slight difference. The Tiffany's jewelry store here, the only line of jewelry that they carry at this moment are the earrings that can be used for fish hooks. Also, the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum, here it has a painted ceiling, and it's just like the painted ceiling at the Sistine Chapel. So the only difference is the painting on the ceiling here in Nashville, where the two hands are coming together. One of the hands is holding a Jimmy Dean sausage patty and the other hand is holding a corn dog. It kind of brings a tear to your eye when you see it for the first time. Another thing we have in the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum is a replica statue of David, and it's just like the statue of David in Italy. It's beautiful. Well, there's been a slight modification since Nashville does not approve of nudity. The statue here of David is holding a banjo in an appropriate manner. We also have a moving attraction at the Nashville Hall of Fame and Museum. Perhaps you've heard of Billy Bicep. He's got the big muscles. He can flex his muscles. He's got big shoulders, big biceps, big chest, great abs, and he can flex his muscles and make them do all sorts of tricks. And he has a tattoo on his chest and tummy. It's a tattoo of the Mona Lisa. Beautiful. And when he flexes his muscles just right, he can make the Mona Lisa look like she's chewing tobacco. So I think that's going to be big. Hope to see you here soon. Thank you.